Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to our webinar that Premier Life and Annuities is hosting today with the company National Life Group, LSW National Life Group company. LSW Life of the Southwest is the company we sell for them, their product line. Today we have Mike Zimmeretti. Mike is better known as Big Mike in my book, is one of our trusted vice presidents of a company we strongly recommend and urge that a lot of our agents get to know. He is regional vice president for National Life Group. He's going to be taking over the webinar. Today's webinar, Mike and I were just discussing it. It's primarily covering why choose LSW, why Life of the Southwest, and what is the value proposition of National Life Group with their product line LSW. Mike, welcome this morning. It's a beautiful day here in Nebraska.
Well, thank you. Well, it's a beautiful day here in Tampa, Florida, where I'm coming to you live. Hopefully it gets up to 85, maybe even 90 this week. I'm not gloating, but I think we've hopscotched spring and we're right into summer already.
We've got quite a few people that are getting on and attendees. Okay. I want to just remind everyone that you can ask questions by typing into your system. Put the questions, raise your hand. I'll be monitoring those questions for Mike at the end of the webinar. We'll try to answer what we can. We are also recording this webinar, so if you do have to answer a phone or take care of a client, we know how that goes. I will send you a recorded link for this webinar, and if you need that and would like to review it, we have that available to all our agents. So, Mike, if you're ready, take it away.
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you to the Life team at Premier Life and Annuity, who are one of our very trusted partners in our life distribution. I want to thank everybody that's on this call this morning. I know how painstakingly hard it is to attend WebEx and webinars when you have your day-to-day and you know, you're getting accosted by so many carriers with so many products and concepts, and you know, how do I keep this all simple? And the bottom line is, for everybody on this call, this guy, Mike Zimmeretti, I can't even, you'll probably forget my name after the WebEx. You'll probably remember, hopefully, Big Mike. But, you know, that's 45 minutes of my time. Is that going to make me any money? Is that going to improve my life? Is it going, how did that time, investment-wise, work for me? And what I'm here to tell you is, I want to talk about the simplicity of our value proposition, but how it's going to double, triple, and quadruple your sales ratios. As a 30-year veteran of wholesaling and being in the field as an advisor like you, like all of you that are on this call today, I've attended meetings, workshops, oh my gosh, 100 million gallons of coffee and bagels, and listening to speakers present and topics and gimmicks, and at the end of the day, I scratch my head and go home and said, you know, is this going to make me any money? Is this going to further my career? Is this going to enhance my client base? I mean, was that a waste of time, or was that fruitful? And what did I learn, and what am I going to do with all of this? And I hope today we can put some of that to rest, because we're going to talk about the National Life value proposition as being one of the most talked about in the industry today. And I know, being one of you, because once you're in the field, you're always in the field. I don't care. I don't look at myself as a wholesaler. I look at myself as a coach. And I look at you, and I know, I feel your pain sometimes, or I feel your success. The name of the game is getting in front of people. And then when you get in front of people, what kind of conversations are you having? And realistically, what kind of closing ratios are you going to have? Out of every 10 people, are you going to close 2 people or take 3 applications and one gets rejected, and one client changes their mind at the last minute and you got 1 out of 10? Or would you value a value proposition that you can increase that, double, triple, quadruple, and maybe even more? Because we're going to show you this morning that, you know, someone said simple is not easy. Simple is actually hard. What's hard about it? It's hard being simple. It's hard telling a consumer what time it is. We have a general tendency to try to tell them how the watch was made and then hope that the client gets it and knows what time it is. So what we've done is we're telling people what time it is. We're telling them what we do with our products. We tell them, we listen to what keeps them awake at night. And, we work with that. So what we're going to talk about today is the most, in my mind, in 30 years in this business, I've been with the National Life Group for 10 years. This is the most efficient and most talked about, most competitive and most comprehensive value proposition product portfolio in the industry. Why? Because of the ease of getting into multiple conversations with your prospective clients. I know because I do it all the time in traveling the country. When I fly up to Nebraska, and it's a great trip because I fly into Omaha, Nebraska, I rent a car, and I drive out to Norfolk, Nebraska, which is a good 2-hour cruise, and I think about a lot of things. And when I'm on the, think of a lot of things about presenting and how easy and simplistic this all is. But when I'm on the plane, somebody inevitably asks me, hey, Mike, what do you do? You're a big guy. I see that football ring on your finger. Were you a football player one day? So we go through all that. And, well, what do you do now? So when I tell them, they kind of shrink in their seat and they go, oh, my God, life insurance. They kind of cringe. And then as I ease into the story as to why our company is so different, and they hear my passion, oh my gosh, they're like putty in my hands. They're like giving me their business card, and they're like, hey, you know what? Can I have your business card? My life insurance doesn't do any of this stuff. Or, you know what? I've hesitated buying life insurance, or I've bought some cheap term. I've never bought permanent because I've never really had a compelling reason to do so. But I think I do now after having met you. Now, I've talked to this person, just met him in an airplane, just sitting beside him, ad hoc, and just got into a conversation about sports and dovetailed into what I do and what our products do. And I could see the look in the clients' faces that they were adding everything up, saying, I got to talk to my agent. My stuff doesn't do any of this stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. But let's get something off the table right now, because a lot of people always ask, LSW, National Life, what's the story there? Who's on first, who's on second, who's on third? Well, the National Life Group is headquartered in Montpelier, Vermont, and they've been around for 168 years. They're a mutual holding company and very successful, obviously, very top ratings. We just got awarded an A+ with S&P last year for our efforts. We're A excellent with AM Best, A2 with Moody's. And we're kind of under the radar because we've really distributed our products through a career system for most of that 168 years. But National Life is a domiciled New York company, and their products weren't really a fit for independent distribution and working with partners like Premier Life and Annuity. So in 1996, we purchased a mid-size annuity company in Dallas, Texas, by the name of Life Insurance Company of the Southwest, which we call LSW, Life of the Southwest, to be able to pursue this independent distribution and really go after independent agents like yourself. So that's really the relationship between National Life and LSW. But let's really get into this this company, this cause. It's more than a company. It really is a cause. And you're seeing this book on your screen, and you're wondering, who's that guy on the cover? Well, that's our CEO, Mehran Asadi, and he's a phenomenal guy who has really cultivated a culture within our company to basically, and I'll put the rhetoric aside, he has put all of our resources into making a dynamic value proposition, namely incredible client-centric products that virtually stand up and sell themselves. They give you multiple sources of conversations to have with multiple sources of prospects, business owners, single individuals, families, approaching CPAs, attorneys, estate folks, you name it, whatever you can contrive in your mind of someone that would, broach the conversation of life insurance and planning, financial planning. We really have conversations that not only are incredible conversations, but they really stand heads and tails above the competition, which is really what you want on this WebEx today. You want to differentiate yourself. When you go see a client, unfortunately, the rule of the jungle or the law of the jungle is they're probably going to go to some other source and get a second or third opinion, and then confusion sets in. And then they're going to say, well, I don't know, who do I go with? You know, this one person approached me and brought up the topic, which kind of piqued my interest, and now I went out and asked several people, and I've got 7 companies on my table. You know, who should I pick and who should I go with? Well, what we've done with Cause, in this book here, if you're wondering what the book is, if you could read the line under the orange Cause, a business strategy for standing out in a sea of sameness. And let's take a look at that. What we've done with our living benefit story is we've really revolutionized the life insurance industry, somewhat like Amazon, Southwest Airlines, Starbucks coffee. Whether you like Starbucks or not, or think they're too expensive or not, when I travel, I was just in Canada visiting my 85-year-old mom in Toronto, Canada, and at 6:30 in the morning, there was a lineup down the hall for Starbucks coffee. When I landed in Charlotte, North Carolina, there was a lineup at Starbucks coffee. I didn't see a lineup at any other coffee shop that was probably half the price. It's because of the branding and that they've become masters of deepening the relationship. Back to the Cause book, the authors, Jackie and Kevin Freiberg, actually did, and sorry for jumping around here, they did a national bestseller many years ago on the success of Southwest Airlines and how the Southwest Airlines revolutionized, to some degree, airline travel in our country. Well, they've recognized that the National Life Group and LSW has done the same thing in life insurance with revolutionizing life insurance as a living benefit. Life insurance you don't have to die to use. That's why it's always been so hard, folks, to sell life insurance. It's a difficult conversation. It's never easy to talk to a stranger, let alone a friend or a loved one, about someone's impending death or demise. It's not a favorite topic of conversation, and people avoid it. When you do talk about it, it's kind of an awkward conversation, isn't it? Because people are defensive. They feel like they're being sold, and they've got their shield up, and then you're trying to product peddle something, or, and excuse that vernacular, but I'm trying to give you a solution. So what we've done here with our value proposition is we're standing out in this sea of sameness. All these companies listed here are phenomenal companies. I will never say anything negative about any of our competitors because they're phenomenal. They're great, very successful companies. But interestingly enough, you could flip a coin as to all of their products. And all of these products, all these companies and their products, they do not have what we have as a total packaged value proposition. So if I just stopped here today, that's the message to all of you on this call, that when you approach your team members at Premier Life and Annuity, they've got a competitive grid that will show some of these top 10 competitors how we stack up versus them. And you might say, well, big deal. It is a big deal because when you get in front of those folks, which it's hard to do, I know it's expensive, whether you do seminars, whether you have a radio show, whether you drop mail, whether you knock on doors, whether you use referrals, whether you use a telecaller. Once you get in front of them, what do you do? What do you talk about? And we really feel that as we move through this very quickly, the National Life Group really stands out in this sea of sameness where people will have, you're going to get their attention. They really are going to get your attention. Now, as a coach, I sit back with a lot of agents and they say, Mike, I don't have the confidence you have. I don't have that passion. I don't have that swagger. I'm scared to death when I meet some of these clients because I really am not that in-depth with life insurance knowledge. And I tell them, that's okay. All you've got to do is tell the clients what time it is. Discuss in story-like fashion, how these living benefits work. You don't have to tell them how the watch was made. When you go to a doctor and a doctor prescribes you a medication, he doesn't give you an anatomy lesson and pull out a flip chart and show you how the heart works and all the vascular system in relation to the entire circulatory system. He might say, Mr. Client, you have high blood pressure, so cut back on the salt, lose 5 or 10 pounds, watch your diet, and take this medication once a day. That's all he tells you. He's telling you what time it is. It's time to take this pill once a day. And that's the same in what we feel with our life insurance value proposition is you don't have to talk about, well, is this option A or option B, and are we using GPT or CVAT in the illustration? I mean, what's the back testing and all this stuff, and then the underwriting lingo. No, this is the new kind of life insurance. Life insurance you don't have to die to use. Let me tell you how that works. And all you really have to do homework-wise is learn how to tell what time it is in terms of what do these living benefits do? Discuss terminal illness, discuss chronic illness, discuss critical illness and injury. These are the things that we have done that have skyrocketed and really taken us out of that sea of sameness, and we're standing out. I mean, if you look at our statistics, we're exhibiting the most growth of any life insurance company over the last 5 to 7 years. So I'll get off my soapbox here a little bit because you can tell I'm very passionate about this, but it works. Our Main Street values are the values of our cause. We're really out there in the community doing a lot of good things, talking about what we do, and we're involved in the 403B annuity teachers market very heavily with LSW. Whatever the language, we have these solutions in different ethnic multicultural markets. We're doing very well in the Asian multicultural market, but we also do extremely well in the Hispanic market, and we have all of our sales literature in different languages that you could get from Premier Life and Annuity to actually add to the value proposition as you talk to your clients. There are so many things we can talk about, but simply we've never raised our cost of insurance on our universal life products ever. We've actually decreased them 3 times. That's an amazing story. As a mutual holding company, we're not a stock company, so we are not directed by Wall Street to chase, ROI and profitability. Even though we are highly profitable, we don't have to look over our shoulder and somebody from Wall Street saying, hey, can you cut back on that living benefit story? Because if we cut back on that, maybe we'd make even more money. We don't have that burden sitting on our shoulders. Last year, we almost eclipsed 200 million in life sales, which is amazing for a company, mid-sized company our size. We have over 105 billion in life insurance in force. We backed off of our single premium deferred annuity last year. We only did 700 million. I think that'll be more aggressive this year. And of course, we're really a big player in the 403B annuity market. We're masters of relationships, but we're masters of keeping our promises. Last year, we paid out over 1.95 billion in interest to annuities and life insurance contracts, death benefits, and living benefits. So, money in, money out. And when you look at competitors who copy our value proposition, you have to ask yourself, kind of like in health insurance in the old days, hey, that's a great rate, or that's this, but do you know how to pay your claims? Or is this going to be a dogfight when one of my clients has a claim to pay? And obviously, we know how to pay our claims because we've been doing it for quite some time. We are up. Everywhere you look across the board, you see arrows with 10%, 7.5%, but mostly in the double digit. You'll see this pie chart, die too soon, become ill, live too long. I love it because that's really the financial planning puzzle of life, isn't it? If we all knew when we were going to die and what from, financial planning would be a piece of cake. But life's a mystery. So life insurance traditionally helped us from, help our family and our survivors if we died too soon. But where we enter the mix is that we're masters of, well, what about becoming ill? One of the #1 causes of bankruptcy in our country is becoming ill. And what about saving for retirement? What keeps me up at night, really keeps me up at night is, well, I don't know how long I'm going to live. Am I saving enough money? Will I run out of money in my 80s or 85s? All of these things are incredible conversations. During my webinars, I always like to give you some sales tips and tidbits. And here's one that a top producer in the Dallas area uses quite frequently. And he says when he talks to clients, he talks about illness. And, I'm a big proponent of saying to folks, what do we all have in common? Well, we all want to live as long as we possibly can. But unfortunately, in talking about life, we have to talk about the negative side of life, and that is something's eventually coming to get us to take us out. What is it? Very rarely do people just die in their sleep or, fall out of their shower and they're gone. That happens. but not all the time. People usually succumb to a long lingering illness or some kind of a battle. So what this agent does, he says to his clients, I want you to put a number on what a mild to moderate heart attack would do to your family's income. If you had to stop working for 1 to 3 months, do you have enough money in the bank to pay your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, put food on the table, pay your bills? And if so, okay. But now let's stretch that out to 3 to 6 months. How far are you away from total financial ruin? And most people have that look in their face and say, well, boy, it wouldn't take long for me to be in deep doo-doo, for lack of a better word, financially, if some kind of an illness came by. And then what about the pressure to get back to work? Doctors say, well, I want you to take 3 to 6 months and no stress. Well, yeah, but I got to get back to work. That's a fantasy. I can't take 3 to 6 months off of work. There was an old saying, a doctor giving a client who had a massive heart attack and a stroke, who was left incapacitated. He said to the client, well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you survived your massive heart attack. The bad news is you survived your massive heart attack. Now what do we do? You can't go back to work, or you've got this massive 1 to 2 year rehab period in front of you before you can even think of going back to work. So living benefits are huge. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I think we've talked enough about the National Life Group, very solid financial company. Ease, simplicity. One of the reasons Premier Life and Annuity has come on board with us over the last few years is every year our technological advances continue to make it easy for their agents to do business with us. We just launched an app on Android and online for term quotes. So if you want to do a term quote with our living benefits, you can actually pull up the app and load it onto your smartphone and show a client at lunch what a premium possibly could be. We have e-contracting. We have e-applications, so you don't have to send in the paper app and miss a few questions and have to wait and go back and forth with underwriting. We have a lot of online tools. One of the biggest coaching points that I'm really excited about is our simplification in underwriting. When I talk to a lot of agents, whether they're veterans or whether they're new or whether they're in between, they're in the senior market selling med sup and annuities, they don't know much about life insurance other than final expense. They grapple with underwriting. Oh my gosh, underwriting's insane. You mean someone's going to go out and draw blood from them and then ask for a fluid sample, and they're going to put a blood pressure cuff on them and they're going to weigh them and all this stuff? Clients really put up with that. They said, well, not only do they have to put up with it, they have to do it in order to get the life insurance. So what we've done, if you're under age 60, we're one of the first companies to ever do this. We will issue up to $1 million with no paramed, no fluid. That's right, no blood, no urine. We have enough information in our data links to be able to look at these prospective clients and give them elite and preferred rates as well. Please know that we're going to look into the pharmacology database, so if a client forgets to put down that they're on blood pressure medication or any type of a medication, that we're going to see it. And then this easy underwriting may not work, but for about 40 to 60% of your clients, you'll be able to go through a simplified process, a streamlined process, which is less invasive. Your clients are going to love it. You're going to love it because you're going to get paid quicker. And again, it's another great conversation. Mr. Client, I want to talk to you about this new kind of life insurance. They put their hand up. Hey, you know what? I'd love to buy some more life insurance, but I hate getting stuck with that needle. I hate that paramed coming over asking me these questions. I don't want anybody to weigh me. I don't want a blood pressure cuff on me. I just hate that whole scenario. Well, now we can avert that up to age 60, up to $1 million, $250,000 up to age 65. We have a large case service team in place. We have a streamlined annuity portfolio that we can talk about at some point in the future. The Department of Labor issues have been put off until June, and we'll get some more clarity with what the DOL is going to be doing with annuity product portfolios and opportunities in the IRA markets. But we also just launched a new opportunity for a multi-life platform. When you're going out and visiting prospective clients and they say, hey, you know what? I'm an executive at ABC International. And we have all these executives there, and we have all these rank and file employees. This is a great product. I mean, these living benefits and the lifetime income benefit rider, tax-free income for life, that's amazing. I would love to take that into a company. And could we do that list bill, payroll deducted? Yes, we can. Well, like group product, can you make some underwriting concessions and maybe offer guarantee issue and simplified issue to executive carve-outs? And we've just announced that, yes, we can do that this month on 10 plus lives. Any group that has 10 or more executives, or what we call 5A classification employees. That's in the office, supervisory, white collar stuff, really not out in the field, but in an office setting. We can talk about that, and it's, I'll tell you, it's been a tremendous conversation with a lot of agents out there so far. So that's a new opportunity. We've simplified our guidelines on foreign nationals, so people that come in and own businesses in America that live in other parts of the world, we can take a look at them. One of the biggest reasons Premier Life and Annuity has looked at us is we just really have solutions all across the board. You know, we have our annuity portfolio, but more importantly, in our protection solution portfolio, namely life insurance, we have living benefits, terminal, chronic, critical illness, critical injury on our term products, our fixed universal life, our whole life, our indexed universal life, and our indexed survivorship product. The critical illness and critical injury are tantamount to 17 triggers. That's 17. And I got to tell you, I love using the name Aflac because I have a lot of respect for that company. They're very successful, and a lot of people buy their product. Why? Because one of the two biggest killers of mankind is cancer and heart disease. And people know at some point they probably will be battling a form of that in their life, so they buy those supplemental coverages. These coverages are free of charge in our ABR, our accelerated benefit, living benefit riders within our life products. And there's 17 different triggers: heart disease, cancer, blindness, ALS. I could go on and on. I would strongly suggest you talk to one of your team members at Premier Life and Annuity. I've got a booklet on these living benefits along with the competitive grid that you can look at. We're the first company that ever put a lifetime income benefit rider on an indexed universal life chassis. That's amazing. I think there's only 2 other companies that have copied us, and I don't know how much success they're having with it because they don't offer it as the same package. Why is a lifetime income benefit rider a big deal other than a paycheck for life? Because there's 3 scenarios that are kind of a risk to clients. And these, again, are conversations. Look at the conversations you can have with your clients. Let's play a little game here. You've talked to a client, and you've shown them putting a lot of money into this indexed universal life. And you go back for the second appointment, and you're taking the application, and the client's got their hands across their chest, and they're looking at you, and they're saying, hey, Mark, I don't know if I want to do this now. I talked to my neighbor and last night when I was playing golf with him, and his brother-in-law was there, and he said, oh, be careful with those life insurance products and taking money out of it. My uncle did that, and he got a letter from the insurance company where he had to stop taking income, and he had to put more money into it because the thing didn't perform the way they thought. And this poor guy thought he was done making premium payments. He'll probably have to pay premiums for the rest of his life. And he can't drop the coverage because he already took money out, and he's been told that if it lapses, he's going to have to pay taxes on all that income that already he pulled out. So it's a trap. So you can look him in the eye and smile and say, well, with the if you're concerned about that risk, Mr. or Mrs. Client, the lifetime income benefit rider will not only guarantee you lifetime income, it will guarantee you that you'll never have to worry about how the company or the product performs. You will never have to worry about how long you live because the payout is guaranteed. If you do take out too much money, we shut the product down at $15,000 of death benefit, $1,000 of cash, which means you'll have $15,000 of final expense money, and we'll continue to pay you from the general account, and it remains tax-free. And oh, what's the third thing? To take a loan out of a life insurance policy year after year in retirement requires year after year filling out of paperwork. Every year you have to request a loan and send in information. With the lifetime income benefit rider, you only fill out one set of paperwork, send it in, and you will get your income guaranteed for life. No muss, no fuss. So that is quite a story. On top of it, there's advanced market solutions. So now we take this medication, this life insurance you don't have to die to use, And it's an endless value proposition. You can go to business owners, everyone you know, and talk about business succession planning. 70% of business owners out there do not have anything in writing for business succession and do not have it funded appropriately. They just feel that if they die, they hope the remaining family or partners will do the right thing. And you know, when it comes to money, that's a recipe for disaster. Fights always ensue, and whatever the outcome was anticipated by the original business owner, it rarely happens, and there's a battle royal going on for the business succession plan. So we do all of this, split dollar, qualified, life insurance within qualified plans. We can get really sophisticated and talk about captive insurance plans, which is a conversation for another day. For individuals, tax-free retirement. 401ks, they're as good as the market is good. I always kind of smile when I see everybody enamored by the market, and they forget what happened in 2008. They forgot what happened back in 1997. I'm sorry, 1987, 88. Things like that. So tax-free retirement is a big supplemental program on the table. A lot of people like to talk about estate planning in general. We'll see what happens with these tax revisions with the new administration. But remember, administrations come and go. Taxes get revised. Only one good thing buys life insurance, and that's, aside from money, it's your health. Once your health's gone, you can't buy any more life insurance. So getting into some type of an estate planning scenario would be fantastic. There's premium financing strategies. There's charitable giving. There's a lot of folks out there with special needs children that have special needs trusts that they need to fund it with life insurance. By the way, in all of this, one of the biggest concepts that I've seen be very successfully used by an agent here in Tampa is an asset shield strategy, where they say, Mr. and Mrs. Client or Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, here's what your total worth is, and then they draw this box and they put all of these things in the box that comprise that total worth, like the business, the home, the vacation property, the IRA, the mutual funds, the 401k, and they list everything there. And they say, where are you going to get your money if and when you become sick, or if and when your spouse or someone passes away or has a serious illness or a chronic illness? And they pause and they say, well, I'd probably go into that box and take out the product or cash out, take a mortgage on my house or cash out that IRA. I'll take the one with the least amount of penalty. And then he draws a circle around. He goes, why don't you put an asset shield like your home alarm system or your business alarm system, and you have this living benefit scenario with the death benefit, and you can take that money partially or fully as a living benefit and not disturb the assets inside the portfolio. He has tremendous success with talking about that. And again, it's the living benefit story that really stands out. We support everything I just talked about. We have an advanced markets support team. There are 3 estate and business planning attorneys on staff. There are 2 specialists for large life cases and for the multi-life platform. We have a qualified plans sales desk, so you can talk to them if somebody wants to get tax write-off and tax relief for some type of advanced sales planning. For those of you that don't even know what advanced sales are, I'll tell you what advanced sales are. It's simply going to a business owner and saying, Mr. Business Owner, what keeps you up at night? Tell me about your business. That's advanced sales. There's a lot, I'm worried about how I'm going to take this business and have succession planning so my kids get it, or my grandkids, or I don't know what to do with my partner. I need to buy him out. What happens if my partner dies? These are all advanced sales topics. We even get into retained earnings and very sophisticated conversations. So what I'm trying to tell you is, not only can you tell people what time it is, but you can really go down the road and get very super sophisticated and talk to CPAs with our help. And continue to tell them what time it is rather than how the watch was made. You can go to these little videos. I don't know anything about buy, sell for business owners. Here's 9 videos that are like a minute and a half long each, that are vignettes of top agents talking about how they did it. Learn how to do it, and it's all on our website. We have marketing material for that. I have a nice prospecting and marketing guide for you as a gift that I've given to the Premier Life and Annuity marketing team, so they have that when you call in and ask for more information. Back to our website, look at all this stuff. Here's the top 12 items in terms of brochures that agents request from us at any given time. So you can click on that and order those or download them. You have a digital experience at any time. Whoops, I'll go back to that. Got a little, you could see your dashboard and see where all your sales are, your new business. There's marketing information here that you can tap into, training and product. We really have grabbed the tail of training and tried to make it as simple as we can for you. So we really have a lot of value here for you. And then, of course, the mobile app that'll tell you where your cases are and, new business and your commissions. Am I getting paid this week? How much? You can go right off of your iPhone or off of your computer. Conversations that matter, well, I think we've talked about a lot of things this morning. I think you can get very creative with the information I've given Premier Life and Annuity, but I can tell you what keeps people up at night are a lot of what you're seeing here. This PowerPoint will be available to you through Premier Life and Annuity, but let's talk about the easing into multiple conversations by teaming up with the National Life Group. You can talk about tax-deferred growth. You can talk about tax-deferred growth with great rates. A 3.25 fixed bucket interest rate, 140% participation rate. You've got caps as high as 12.5, 10, and 11.25%. Our illustration rate just moved up to 7.14, which is very conservative but very attractive compared to CD rates and other risk out there in the marketplace. You can talk about succession planning for business owners, buy, sell, key man. You can learn to work with CPAs. You can learn about some or all of advanced planning strategies. You can talk about concepts that no other insurance companies have products for, like retained earnings for C corporations and an IRA distribution solution for some very wealthy clients out there that don't need to use their IRA and are really not real happy about having to take required minimum distributions down the road. We have a very unique strategy for that. We have a very unique emerging affluent premium finance program for people that don't have the assets of people that have been in the business for quite a while. And we also have a robust premium finance platform for people that have more than $5 million in net worth and they would like to take out loans from a vendor to be able to pay their premiums for them. We have term life products with living benefits. We have whole life products with living benefits. Mark your calendar the week of May the 2nd of this year. We're going to relaunch our Life Builder whole life product. You've got the Asset Shield concept to talk about. You have 17 health triggers in critical illness and injury to talk about. And that includes heart attack, stroke, cancer, organ transplant, blindness, et cetera, et cetera. Critical injury, coma, paralysis, severe burns, traumatic brain injuries. Fire departments, police officers love these benefits. These benefits really happen in the home. There's so many home accidents that lead to some of these situations. You can talk about chronic illness. A lot of people try to make it a long-term care strategy. It really is chronic illness. Loss of 2 out of 6 activities of daily living or cognitive impairment. You don't have to be an 80-year-old senior to have this benefit. You could be someone that was in a car accident at any age or had a heart attack or stroke or some type of an illness that left you incapacitated and not able to facilitate 2 out of 6 activities of daily living. And coming in 2018, we're going to announce some new living benefits that are kind of out of the box. I don't know what they are yet, but I've been told that they're going to be really very intriguing and will give the industry pause for reflection to say, wow, these guys are really on the cutting edge of the living benefit story. I could go on and on and on, and I'm just going to bring this to a close, Mark, that this is all about conversation starters. We have a lot of digital and mobile information here for you to tap into. There are storybooks, there's life insurance calculators. Any question your clients could ask or any question you could ask, we have an answer somewhere between Big Mike and Premier Life and Annuity, our Main Street blogs, tapping in to see what other successful people are doing. And, simply why LSW, why the National Life Group? Well, partner with us and find out. We are the National Life Group with 2 main offices in Montpelier, Vermont and Dallas, Texas. We're among the most prominent of the top 20 life insurance companies in the country. We were number 3 in Index Universal Life sales last year. We are committed to you. We are committed to our clients, hence the book Cause, which, by the way, is now available in every major bookstore in every U.S. airport. Look for them as you travel. We have experts that do not cost you a dime. You can talk to an attorney and say, hey, I ran into a business group today and they got a 412E3. What does that mean? And can you look at the document and tell me if it's competitive? Or, hey, I have a unique situation with a business owner with an autistic child, and they want to do some special needs planning in conjunction with that and the sale of the business down the road. There's so many things that come up, and some people, shy away from these things because, again, they think they have to know how the watch was made. But really, we can help you go back to these prospects and tell them what time it is. Folks, I could go on and on and on, and with all the conversations you have, you can think I, as a coach wholesaler, I could easily go on for 2 to 3 hours. But let's look at our incentive trips for you, and this is not, I just want to take a little departure here. Our incentive trips are different in that we're not trying to woo you to an exotic location to bribe you to sell our products. It's the other way around. We want to take you to a location that's comfortable and exciting, but in the mornings, we're going to have people from advanced sales come in and do workshops on how to work with business owners. We're going to have premium finance vendors there. They're going to talk about emerging affluent premium financing and regular premium financing. We're going to have people there talking about living benefits and all the new launches. We keep our value proposition and our portfolio fresh each and every year. We have 2 conferences. This year, January the 1st of this year, our Conference of Champions kicked off for Bermuda. The qualification period is until December 31st of this year. I believe you have to do $66,000 of target premium with 5 applications minimally. Regular agents have to do $100,000. So this is a tremendous trip. But in the Chairman's Club, this is our top of the table trip. It goes from July 1st to June 30th. So not much time left in this year to qualify for Ireland. But you're up around the $320,000 range of premium. But I got to tell you, folks, with the value proposition we have and being able to get into multi-level, multi-life case scenarios and premium finance programs and business strategies and just maybe multiple family contracts, these numbers are easily attained. We also have a Diamond Club where you hit a certain performance. You get the red carpet treatment when you check into the resorts. You also get a day or 2 extra. You get a suite. So there's different things that we do with that we have a lot of fun with. But in closing, I really want to reiterate that the story is simple. With the National Life Group and partnering with us and the fine folks at Premier Life and Annuity, you're going to double, triple, and quadruple your closing ratios, which in this era of what is my commission, do the math. It doesn't matter what commission you're making with another carrier. It's what are you closing? And if you add up all that, maybe your commission will wind up to be 300 or 400% because you're closing 2, 3, 4 times as many cases as you would with another carrier because you really have these multiple conversations in the palm of your hand to pull out when you think they're necessary and make it your story that will really be appealing on a mass appeal basis rather than, a small a group of people that may want life insurance. So thank you so much for your attention this morning. Mark, I'm going to kick it back to you, my friend.
Mike, we don't have any questions, but I'd like to reemphasize one thing that I find so intriguing and great with Life of the Southwest and National Life Group. The main product that we're selling, Flex Life 2, with its simplified issue, also is available down to $25,000 face amount. What does that mean? This means that you can go out and have the same conversation with a lady like I had this morning and an agent, a mother of 5, single mother, running her own business and supporting 5 children on her own. We could take Life of the Southwest, sell her a group term, a term insurance to cover her mortgage, her kids, and getting them through college, and add back in the Flex Life at a reasonable rate to keep with her budget to maximize her all individual living needs that she needs, from terminal illness, chronic, critical injury, and all that back in, and get the max cash funded policy with the idea, let's convert those term to that policy or to the new one in 2018 as their budget grows and their other needs grow for retirement. We don't have to just look at the business owner. We've got the same conversation with almost anybody that's in that bracket and range. So small to big, this is the conversation that can assure agents of selling a product and able to increase that conversation. It's a wonderful, wonderful deal for whether you're an agent that specializes in businesses or individuals and families. You have a story to tell.
Mark, thank you for those accolades. And one other closing point I would like to make. In my 30 years of being involved in this great business, it can be a struggle, and it is a struggle because you always have to find time to reinvent yourself. And people always ask me, Mike, what are the successful people doing? How are they starting these conversations with clients that are actually prospects? They're not even clients yet. These are just people that I run into, and I'm trying to make them into clients, but how do I do it? Well, it all starts with a very, very simple conversation. And if you look at, and again, I'm not knocking my competition because I worked for them, and I had moderate success because other than talking about death benefit and maybe some cash accumulation, the story was over. And it came down to whether people wanted to buy life insurance or not, or replace their existing life insurance or whatever. And with the National Life Group and the living benefit story, the lifetime income benefit rider, all of the advanced sales solutions, my gosh, if I could roll the clock back and start my career all over again, Big Mike would be a different person because I would not want for people to see. I would not want for people to talk to. And Lord knows, I would be shaking in my boots if I had to speak to a tax accountant or a CPA. Oh, they're going to slaughter me. But now I could walk in with some swagger and say, hey, I want to talk to you, buddy. I want to tell you what I can do for your clients, and let me show you the tax leverage here. And anyways, we could go on, but I can assure you, for those of you that are interested in going to just the next step or just growing your life insurance needs, take a strong look at partnering with the National Life Group and take a closer look at our value proposition. I think you will be extremely surprised. So thank you again, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. And with that, I'd like to close. Give us a call here at Premier Life and Annuities, 800-365-8208. Ask for your life team or somebody in our life team to help you with this situation. Get appointed. We send out links to get you appointed with National Life Group. Get started right now. Find out why we're so excited about National Life Group and the growth potential it offers us and you. Because like I say to all my agents, you have to make money before we do. We want you to grow and do the best for each of your clients. So thank you again, Mike. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to serving you.